Hey guys, how's it going? Sorry, still kind of getting set up here. Just hold on a second. Really professional here. Hope you had a good July 4 weekend. Yeah, it's like a delay on when I actually stream live. There's a delay when I go to check, and it's never the same. I mean, it should be going. Oh, there we go. Looks like I'm live on Rumble again, guys. Check out me live on Rumble every Tuesday now. I mean, you know, eventually I want to be on YouTube and maybe Twitter live every week or whatever, recording it, I guess, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't have to stream it live, but sometimes I just think maybe someone will stumble in accidentally and see this podcast going, and they'll be turned on. You know, that's the gateway to the alt-right. Anyway, so it was July 4th weekend. Hope everybody's doing good. It was July 4th weekend here. Maybe it was where you are too. I don't know. Maybe you're in a different time zone. Maybe you're in a different country. You know, there's a lot of possibilities on the internet. Somebody can be listening and they're not even near you. They're not even in the same country as you. You guys ever think about that? It's pretty crazy, the like futuristic abilities we have with the internet now. You guys ever thought that the World Wide Web, it's really worldwide? You could be listening right now, and you're over in the UK. You could be listening over in Africa. You could be listening over in, well, probably not in a really bad, poor country that doesn't have, like, anything going on. But who knows? Maybe you have somehow hacked a satellite or something, and you're on the internet, and you're in some rainforest tribe, and you're the only one that figured out and is listening to podcasts. And you think maybe that this podcast is like a huge podcast, you know? And you don't know until, you know, now I'm saying it, but maybe I shouldn't spoil that for you. Rainforest guy who's listening, or somebody in some crazy country, like some third world, which is what they like to say when they mean poor, shitty country. They say third world instead of, you know, when Trump got in trouble for saying shithole countries, I think he meant third world countries. But you're not allowed to say shithole country. You're supposed to say third world, which somehow makes it better, you know. Well, it's more of a third world country, you know. It's more of a third world. Why did that get started anyway? I mean, I do the research here, you know. I do the work. I do the research. I don't have a GME like Joe Rogan, but you know what? I do the work on myself. And like I said, if you live in a third world country or in some Amazonian rainforest and you're the only one that hacked somehow a satellite and is listening to this podcast somehow, and you think that this is like, you know, a huge podcast, like you think, oh shit, this is the only way you know what's going on in the world is me, because you somehow found only my podcast, like, and you can't. It's like when all those random countries would like, you know, like in the movie Tropic Thunder, when Ben Stiller had that Simple Jack thing, and some like little country loved Simple Jack. Oh, weren't they like in trouble? And then they found out like, wait, you were Simple Jack, and like somehow they had a VHS of it. That's like that, but they found my podcast, and they're like, you're a guy in his room. Like if I got captured in some third world country. Oh, okay. So the term. Maybe I'm dyslexic. The term third world arose during the Cold War to find countries that, that weren't NATO. So they called every country that wasn't in their club third world. Now, if you guys don't know by now, NATO is like them wanting to do a one world government, obviously, you know? So it's like, oh, the U.S. and all these other countries are aligned in this alliance called NATO, which really, I mean, it's close to a one world government. It's close to, you know, that old famous thing George H.W. Bush said about New World Order. They kept all the conspiracy guys talk about. Apparently, third world came around because countries that weren't in NATO, they just would. And how isn't that a slur against? Oh, yeah, well, you guys are third world countries because you're not in their club. So, in political discourse, the term third world was associated with being underdeveloped, which is a PC term for shithole. But nobody could say shithole because then you're a Trump orange man. You don't want to be a Trump orange man. Unless you're Biden, then you do want to be orange now, if you guys have seen him. I don't know if you guys seen Biden lately, but he's a little orange, you know. I was watching the Disaffected podcast, and he went over some of that George Stephanopoulus. A lot of letters in his name, so I mean it's hard to pronounce it. George Stephanopoulus. George Oppenheimer list. Interviewed Biden, and Biden got all orange. That was what the disaffected guy said. Like, there was all these years of orange man bad, and now Biden's orange. You know. Like, how can you, like, I don't know, I just can't believe what's going on now. Well, I mean, I shouldn't, nothing's really that unbelievable now, but, and I actually thought, like, maybe for this episode, I'd be talking about Biden stepping down, you know? Maybe the new orange man. I should try to find some kind of, hold on, guys. See, me showing a podcast showing that. Our finest young. Oops. That is quite loud. Yeah, see. There he is. Looking kind of orange. There you guys. Good old Joe. He's coming back. He's back, guys. He's back. He's strong now. So yeah, I actually did watch the George Stephanopoulos whatever interview with him, and I have to be honest, it's like I don't know, that was like the worst interview I've ever seen with a president. I think. I mean, yeah, he wasn't like staring straight ahead. It didn't look like he was like fucked up, as mentally messed up like he was at the debate. But he did look terrible. Like, he just looked like and you know, it's like, how would you address this if you're a president? I mean, you can't like, because I am like, I do want the government to be honest. And but I know that like, if you're the president, you don't want to show weakness, whatever. So I'm trying, like, it's hard for me to think of any situation where like some president would be like, yeah, I do have Parkinson's or whatever horrible, yeah, I am kind of, yeah, I have a serious problem. I mean, what, like, so on one hand, I'm like, I'm not defending him, but I'm also like, no leader would say, yes, I have some horrible disease. Yes, I'm frail. Yes, I'm whatever. Like, because you don't want to look weak or whatever. And Trump did it too. He got that doctor's note saying he was like in great health and whatever. So I sort of like expect that. But just the way he was just like, look, I'm not stepping out unless God tells me to. He was just coming off like really selfish, also deluded, like delusional. Very stubborn. I mean, and like an asshole. I mean, there wasn't any part of that interview where I was like, well, that was a better part. Like, he looked bad the whole time. I mean, this was so bad. It was such a bad interview. Like, if Trump gave an interview like that, they'd be like, that would be all the media talked about for like, And it is also like, they can't really. How can they criticize Trump about all these things that are wrong with Trump that they always talk about? Oh, he's a narcissist. Oh, he's like he's a liar. He's like egotistical. He came off that way completely in that ABC interview. He came off like everything he thinks about Trump, like, and like he kept doing like, there was this one part where the interviewer was like, "Oh yeah, Joe Biden was like talking about, I mean, who else can bring a crowd like me, And even the ABC interviewer had to say something there because he was like, well, this is going to look ridiculous if I don't say anything, because it was a crazy, ridiculous thing to say. I mean, we all know that Biden doesn't draw a crowd. Like, the Democrats don't seem to be able to anymore. And it's just obvious that Trump draws tons and tons of people. So the interview was even like, well, we don't want to go down that road. I mean, Trump does draw a lot of a huge crowd. And everything else, like, the interview tried to sort of push back, and they kept having to ask him over and over again, like, about what was going on with the interview. I'm more upset now that they seem to be already going like, all right, you know what? Biden's the guy. After just saying he needs to leave, and everybody in the media saying he needs to drop out, I think they are now going to double down with Biden. Like, I actually thought he might be gone by like this week or whatever. Not that I know anything about politics, but I had some hope there for a second. And I guess I should really stop having hope about that kind of stuff, but I don't know.
To the American people?
Look, I have a cognitive test every single day. Every day I have that test.
Yeah, this was a ridiculous deflection, Like, there's what good traits, what does Biden have that are good traits? Like, seriously. People saying he was a great president, like, what are you talking about? Everything's been far worse since he's been in office. I mean, you could say his tweets aren't as bad, or aren't as mean, or whatever. I mean, he just is he has no good qualities. Like, in this interview, like, he just came off badly. And he kept doing that thing, like, God, man, I take a test every day when I wake up is basically a test. It's like, no. I mean, that's how he is. He's like, come on. I take a test every day. Like, if I put waffles in the toaster, that's a cognitive test, I'm taking a test. Come on. I mean, let's pray he doesn't get a cold for the next debate, guys, because that could be the end, That could be the end. I guess, like, I don't know if he's trying to tempt fate, too, because he kept saying, unless God comes down and tell me not to run. I'm like, dude, you better, like, knock on wood or something, because, I mean, that could happen, like, or the Grim Reaper or whoever. I'm going to tempt fate like that. I'm watching, Joe. That's God. I'm watching, Joe. Don't tempt me. I take a test. Come on.
Everything I do. Not only am I campaigning, but I'm running the world.
So
I'll
the
make
answer,
a decision.
the right answer right now is no. You don't want to do that right
No,
now.
I've already done it.
I've already done it. Doesn't know where he's going on stage. He is speaking as a toddler child who's used to being shepherded and squired. He says, "Am I supposed to be here?" They do
yeah, that
after
was a
a
good point. I don't want to just play this whole podcast.
disastrous debate performance with Biden.
Oh, God, I hate that fucking smile he does. I mean, if you watch that interview or even clips, you'll probably see him do this fake half. I swear, like, I know he had, like, an aneurysm or something. And why doesn't he talk about that? Like, why wouldn't he be like, hey, I had an aneurysm when I was younger? Like, just say something, because a cold doesn't... You could sort of argue maybe his aneurysm years ago still has some... Well, I guess I don't know if he'd want to... I think he's too stubborn to even admit something like that.
They literally make him Orange Man. He looks exactly like Donald Trump. What... I said this on Twitter. I don't understand this. What is the... Does nobody understand color matching? Donald Trump. What... I said this on Twitter.
Oh, yeah, look at...
I don't understand this. What is the...
Yeah. He keeps doing this fucking stroke smile or whatever the hell it is. Like, it's only half of his face, so I think he can't smile normally. And he always does that fucking half smile thing. Like, that's super charming. Like, he does it over and over in the interview. Like, and like, the thing is, oh, God, it's so horrible. It's like, oh, God, so bad. It was so bad.
I don't understand this. What is the... this way? And my sister and I... I don't understand this. What...
God, so terrible. Well, I don't know. You watch it if you fucking watch it then, all right? Why don't you fucking watch it? Why don't you watch it, huh? Oh, yeah, so I did save, I think I saved somewhere. I'm gonna have to look. They're just gonna double down now, and the party line is gonna be to pretend that he has no issues, or that he's gonna overcome his cold. I mean, having a cold's tough. Like, looks like we got a news story here, guys. House Democrats miserable after their meetings about Biden. Oh, about Biden. So they all, I guess, had meetings. Let's see. So they had, I saw this earlier, and I guess all the Democrats met. I don't know if all of them did, but they had a closed doors meeting, guys, where they deliberated what to do about Biden. But they couldn't close the gaping hole between factions of the court, and it said it was like a tense Thanksgiving because they were just really divided. I guess they're really divided, saying it felt like a funeral. The morale is at historic lows. There was vigorous debate, it says, and one representative walked out and said, "We are riding with Biden," 9 times. So that may be a new slogan that gets said all around the media. We're going to be riding with Biden, which is ridiculous. I don't know, like, why they're saying that. Remember we rode a bike that one time? That means he's strong, so keep saying riding with Biden. So I guess some Democrats held a smaller meeting before the main meeting, and it says here that actual tears were shed during that. So it looks like they're all folding all over the place and becoming resigned to Biden holding all the cards here. Now, to me, it seems like stupid to not make a change now because... Oh, this is from July 4th. What about the... Oh, that was too. Well, this is... All right, so this is from July 4th, but... So, his great plan here is to not do events at night, guys. So, I'm sure, I don't know, probably everyone's heard this. He said he needs to get more sleep and would stop doing events after 8 p.m. So, look, you get tired and you get a little tuckered out after 8 p.m. You get a little tuckered out, Those are adults, when you get a little tuckered out, you might need some prune juice, you might need to change your diaper or whatever it is. But this is the key to everything, okay? Don't have events after 8 p.m., That's all we got to do. Don't have anything happen after 8 p.m. Everybody's made that joke, but it's true. Now, here's the thing, guys. I'm not going to forget every fucking media person and everybody on CNN and everything saying Biden needs to go. Because once they flip-flop around and start going behind Biden again and ride with Biden, you look like a fucking asshole. You look like... And I was really hoping... I'm done with everything now. There's no hope, guys. I'm black-pilled again. I wasn't, I was just hoping that, okay, maybe this will wake some people up that were, in the middle or something, not really a fan of Biden or what's going on, and they see how corrupt this is. Then they start being like, you know what, this is beyond... This is inexcusable. Oh, and it would just open everybody up to what they've been covering up this whole time with him. I don't know if another thing like that will happen again where he just is totally out of it. I don't believe the government now. Does anybody really believe when the White House is like, hey, look, we have a doctor's note from his doctor and it says he's great and he's actually 40 years old. He's not 80. It could say anything, Do people believe that? Is there anybody out there that's like a Biden? Are people that stupid? Even Steve Jobs was hiding how sick he was, And everybody knew something was going on. Now, I guess Biden's not at that level where he's getting skinnier and skinnier or whatever. But I've heard no reasonable explanation. Because Biden wasn't. If he looked like he was just tired at the debate, that would be one thing, Oh, he's just tired. I know he's old, so that probably. The thing is, they kept saying this. Oh, this ABC interview is a high stakes. It's a high stakes interview, guys. It's high stakes. High stakes. High stakes. High stakes. It's everything's riding. Everything's riding. Everything's riding. Everything's riding. Everything is riding on this ABC interview, and then it happens, and nobody's talking about it. It was terrible. I watched it, but nobody's talking about it because it's so bad. But also, I guess it. This picture is very unflattering too. Look, he keeps saying it's a one-off mistake. We'll see. But he's had so many flubs. Yeah, but I guess we haven't seen him that bad where he's just staring. And I don't know. Nobody has any kind of dignity, I guess, in politics. Nobody's Everyone's, well, okay, the party line is for us to get behind Biden again. All right, here we go. Like, nobody cares. Nobody, everybody just falls in line. That's like the Soviet Russia again. Okay, so this is New York Magazine, I guess. And it talks about this, the conspiracy of silence to protect Joe Biden. Conspiracy of silence to protect Joe 303030. And there was a lot of good parts in this. Like, I read the whole thing, and it goes it goes into, like, you know, this reporter, I guess, has met Biden and Jill Biden, and just candidly talks about how gone he is. And parts of it are seriously like a Stephen King novel, because it's like, it's seriously like, I don't know, it's like that lady in The Shining. It's like, it's scary. I mean, maybe dementia's scary. I didn't really think about how, like, writing about it comes off. And so I kind of want to go over parts of this. Reporters often struggle with the challenge of how hard it is to hear or make sense of the president. They scrutinize audio recordings and read quotes to one another after the fact. Is that what he said? Really? Here's another point. And he repeated this in that ABC interview. He lied in it. Yeah, I don't know why, you know, no one can point out that he lies all the time. But like it says here, he said, since the debate, the polls show little movement and have me up a couple points. And then the article says, what he said was false. That they have their own internal polling. He has his own internal polling in his team. I don't know what that means, like his helpers polling themselves. Or they probably just slant everything so he's not upset or something. I don't know. At the G7 summit in June, he struggled to follow the discussions and stumbled over his talking points. To such a degree that Anthony Blinken had to intervene. And what was that other part? I could have sworn... Maybe it's later in here. Yeah, so this is, by the way, this is not a, like, conservative person writing this. It's someone friendly to the Bidens and all that stuff, and they're still, like, at least being honest here about how his condition is. It says here, those who encounter the president in social settings sometimes left their interactions disturbed. Longtime friends of the Biden family who spoke to me on the condition of anonymity were shocked to find the president did not remember their names. The guest wasn't sure they could vote for Biden since the guest was now open to an idea that they had previously dismissed as right-wing propaganda, that the president may not really be the acting president after all. Here's another quote here. The president... saying hello to one Democratic megadonor and family friend at the White House recently, the president stared blankly and nodded his head. The First Lady whispered in her husband's ear, telling him to say hello to the donor by name and to thank them. The president repeated the words his wife had fed him. It hasn't been good for a long time, but it's gotten so much worse, a witness to the exchange told me. So these are all the conversations people are having, you know, not on air and all that stuff. Everybody knows what's going on. You know, because the writer of this did go to this event, and she's been to a bunch of events. Here's another. A lot of these are funny because it's like, they're, you know, these people are just shocked that nobody's in charge, and how can it be this terrible and inept? That's just kind of how things are going now. Like, everything's kind of just shit. Run terribly. who actually was in charge? Nobody knew, but certainly someone was. There surely had to be a plan. I heard these questions posed at cocktail parties on the coast, but also at MAGA rallies. There emerged a funny overlap between the beliefs of liberal Biden supporters and the beliefs of Trump supporters. There has to be a secret group of high-level government leaders who control Biden and who will soon set into motion their plan to replace Biden as the presidential nominee. Nothing else made sense. So here's, this writer has probably been to a ton of events with Biden. She says, I know it was a good day when he saw me and winked. On such occasions, he joked and prayed and cried with voters. He stayed to take a photo with every supporter. On bad days, which were unpredictable but reliably occurred, he was less animated. He stared off. He did not make eye contact. He would trip over his words, even if they were in a teleprompter. On such occasions, he would hurried out of the venue quickly and put into a waiting SUV. Okay, so this is a whole operation of, cover up Biden's whatever his, dementia. She's talking about a time recently. Wait, when did she say this? Oh, this April. At a reception before the correspondence dinner. She was at the Hilton or something. And she said, I hadn't seen the president up close in some time. I'd skipped, whatever. And she said, the first lady looked panicked and upset. And then she understood why now, because, as she says here, it's not just being old. He just looks like, it says, his face, even in 2020, had an uncanny valley quality because of his cosmetically altered proportions, knocked his facial harmony into the improbable. He looked inflated. His eyes were half shut or open very wide. They appeared darker than they once had. He did not blink at regular intervals. The White House often did not engage when questioned about the president's stare, which sometimes raised alarm on social media when documented in official photos produced by the White House. If the president was, and that's why they called clips like that cheap fakes. And for many inclined to support the president, this was good enough. They did not need to monitor the president's appearances because they figured everything was going well. It's figured why, this is another thing that people do all the time. And why wouldn't you? Because you don't even want to entertain the possibility that, like, oh, it's all shit. It's all, they're actually, he's gone, There is no, president really running anything. He is just there to pretend to be I guess he's pretending. He's acting. It's like we might as well just hire an actor to be president that just comes out, does speeches, and that's it. Biden could be trusted to perform the duties of his office out of sight. Yeah, that's what everybody says. Like last episode, everybody's saying, like, behind the scenes, he's sharp. Well, and then this reporter here says, this is real quotes from the article. My heart stopped as I extended. Oh, I should try to find some kind of. I'm going to try. Scary music. Yeah, it's a little too corny. That too. These are all goofy. Come on, there's got to be something not goofy. Here we go. All right, guys, here we go. My heart stopped as I extended my hand to greet the president. I tried to make eye contact, but it was like his eyes, though open, were not on. His face had a waxy quality. He smiled. It was a sweet smile. It made me sad in a way I can't fully convey. I always thought that he was a decent man. He took my hand in his, and I was startled by how it felt. Not cold, but cool. The basement was so warm that people were sweating and complaining that they were sweating. His sweet smile stayed frozen.
He spoke very slowly and in a very soft voice. "And what's your name?" he asked. Exiting the room after the photo, the group of reporters, not instigated by me, I should note, made guesses about how dead he appeared
To be, percentage-wise. 40%, one of them asked? It was a bad night. That's the spin from the White House and its allies about Thursday's debate. But when I watched the president move stiffly across the stage, my first thought was, he doesn't look so bad. For months, everything I had heard plus... So she's actually saying, I thought it would be way worse, which is what Tim Dillon said also. So that's pretty bad. I mean, if she's seen worse, because yeah, that is pretty bizarre to have to like be cool to the touch, clammy. Is that common with Parkinson? So I saw some theorizing that he has this kind of dementia called Lewy body dementia. I don't know if he does, but it does seem like dementia to me. Like, I know there's different kinds of Parkinson's, but you know what? I gotta admit, like, seeing that debate and stuff, like, this does make sense to me. People with Lewy body dementia might see things that aren't there. I mean, he looked like he was looking at stuff in the debate. I mean, I don't know. This is interesting to me. Like, just being in denial and covering up, and this is just like, it's gonna get very boring to me when they go behind Biden again, and I'm already kind of getting bored of it because now it seems like they're all gonna go, oh yeah, we're behind Biden again. Yeah, Biden. No, he did have a cold now. We're changing. I did want like the whole. I guess I can't get it on here. Well, if this is a reaction, maybe it shows it. Oh yeah, it does. Okay.
We're like a third world nation between weaponization of
Together again. And that's exactly what we began to do. We created 15,000 new jobs. We brought out the position where we have 800.
Respond to this question about the national debt.
He had the largest national debt of any president in a 4-year period, number one. Number two, that $2 trillion tax cut benefited the very wealthy.
which is a disaster, mandating it. The vaccine went out. He did a mandate. Kansas, I would say the same thing.
Like this. What's he looking at? Maybe he's looking at Trump.
Texas is different. Florida is different.
But just
they're
like all these looks he does like this, like it almost does look like he's seeing something.
making their own decisions right now.
How crazy would that be to have a president covering all this up? Maybe it isn't this. It can't be that bad now, because if he was really seeing hallucinations. Just imagine if it gets that bad, though. There's another debate, and he just starts seeing, like walks out off stage and, like, talks to someone not there. I mean, he already did, like, shake invisible hands before. Imagine how bad this will get. This is going to be 4 years if he got elected. Imagine if he got elected again. And then we have to see this decline. Like, I don't know. I don't see any. I guess I don't see. Hold on. Let me see. I don't see anything about clammy hands here. So I think I only really know the stuff about makes you stiff and it makes. So he has to have Parkinson's. There's no other explanation of having that. That story came out about the guy visiting Parkinson's doctor visiting 8 times or whatever. Yeah. Oh no, he just what? So he definitely has Parkinson's, but I don't know. I mean, this is all speculation, but like.
And right now, the states control it. Democrat run, take it after birth.
Look, what is that? Look at that.
Again, the former governor of Virginia, put the baby down, then we decide what to do with it. So he's willing to, as we say, rip the baby out of the womb in the 9th month and kill the baby. Nobody wants that to happen, Democrat or Republican. Nobody wants it to happen.
That's how fast it takes for a guy to.
He went to the funeral. He died. I went to the World War II cemetery, World War I cemetery he refused to go to. He was standing with his 4-star general, and he told me, he said, I don't want to go in there because they're a bunch of losers and suckers. My son was not a loser, was not a
moment in the history of our country that when Putin watched that and he saw the incompetence that he should have fired those generals like I fired the one that you won.
Wow.
President Biden, do you have a minute?
I've never heard so much foolishness. This is a guy who wants to get out of NATO.
Wow.
He wants to stay in NATO?
I can't believe
He was broke with me. I wouldn't let anybody do business with him. They ran out of money. They were broke. Changes. They don't want to pay. And the only reason that he can play games with NATO is because I got them to put up hundreds of billions of dollars. I said, and he's right about this, I said, no, I'm not going to support NATO if you don't pay. They asked me that question, would you guard us against Russia, at a very secret meeting of the 28 states at that time, nations at that time. And they said, no, if you don't pay, I won't do that. And you know what happened? Billions and billions of dollars came flowing in the next day and the next months. But now we're in the same position. We're paying every.
Said, quote, Donald Trump and his man
at the border, telling the Ukrainian people that we're going to.
All this being fabricated. We saw with our own eyes. We saw what happened on January 6th. We saw the people breaking through the windows. We saw people occupying his own vice president. Making significant progress. By 2035,
is he picking his nose in the middle of the debate?
Your nose,
we have made contributors that they have to build these laboratories and the like. Position where the idea that we're not doing any, we put more police on the street than any administration has.
Yeah, they're gonna need to bring.
Yeah, I haven't watched the whole thing, so I don't know. Maybe I should see, but I can't see him really doing much better. Because it also wouldn't make sense to me if he suddenly is never making flubs again. Because that wouldn't make any sense. It would be like, oh wow, it's kind of. I mean, that wouldn't make any sense, But what if that happens? That would be like so weird. Because they were clearly not putting him out to do many events before. So that would probably mean something got treated or something. I don't know. Yeah, but I did like that article. And I mean, a little too. It should be more critical of his team covering this up, but whatever. Anyway, what else is going on with you guys? What's going on with you guys, huh? What else is going on? Oh, wow. I didn't see this, actually. See, got some breaking news. We have some breaking news here, folks.
We have some breaking news here, folks. I have some breaking news here, folks. George Stephanopoulus. Guess what, guys? This is the guy
that sat down. Now, he did say at the beginning of that interview, hey, there's no edits to this. And I couldn't tell any obvious ones. But, yeah, I don't believe that. I don't believe that. I don't believe there was no edits. Unless they did a real quick chunk of the interview and the before and the after, where the only things cut out. But I don't believe that. But it wasn't obviously edited, at least to me anyway. But they obviously were cutting away to different camera angles and all that stuff. So saying it was like no edits is not true. But look at this. The guy in that ABC interview, George Stephanopoulus, says, I don't think Biden can serve 4 more years after the ABC interview.
Breaking news! George Stephanopoulus. George Stephanopoulus. Said. Ain't gonna make it. George Stephanopoulus.
So, here's the thing, too. Reporters aren't in with the White House, so I think, I don't know, we'll see. But, okay, so I'm glad he said this. I'm glad he was honest, but I do think most of them in Washington do also think he can't. And are just going to, because Biden put out a fucking, I want to see that letter he put out. Biden sends
defiant letter to Democrats.
And he says, it's time to end question. Stop questioning things. Hey, fellow Democrats, shut the fuck up. So mob boss Joe Biden sent out a letter to them and said, stop talking about whether or not I can or can't serve another 4 years. The question of how to move forward has been well out for over a week. It's time for it to end. It's time to come together. And that's the thing. Everybody's saying he's the only one that can beat Trump. Like, what are you talking about? I mean, that is sad if that's true, but. So he gave them a I don't know what the name of it is, but he said, you're not allowed to talk about this now. You have to stop talking about the fact that I'm old and retarded now. You have to stop. So that's why they may be changing their tune, because they were told to stop by Mr. Sunglasses Joe. He's cool because he wears those. He was recorded by TMZ answering a question from a passerby. Do you think Biden should step down? The anonymous person asked the George Stephanopoulus. He said, I don't think he can serve 4 more years, he said after a pause. Oh, this is fucking ridiculous. Oh my God. I just said I'm glad he was honest. Well, I got fooled. I should have scrolled down. Word of advice, people. Remember to scroll down, because then you will come across the cowardly apology. Okay, so he's only apologizing because he answered the question, by the way. Hours later, after the video made headlines, he expressed regret for offering up his candid response. Earlier today,
I responded to a question from a passerby. I shouldn't have.
okay, so that's all he said. I shouldn't have responded to a question. Okay. You're a fucking reporter, dude. Go fuck yourself. You could tell in the interview he definitely does not think he's going to last 4 more years. Also, by the way, now they're actually correcting his quote because he said the president indicated that he would be okay with a loss to Trump in the election as long as he gave it my all and did the goodest of a job. He said goodest for real. But now they're saying he said, and I did as good a job as I know. He actually did say goodest. I'm sorry for answering a question from a random person. I'm sorry for being almost a real reporter for a second. And ABC just said, that was his opinion, his individual opinion, not ABC's. I mean, that's fine. I get why they said that, but I don't think he should have apologized. Ugh. How can you do this? How can you You did that interview. You kept pushing Biden to actually answer the question. He never really did, ever. He just said, the critics are wrong. Everyone's wrong. I mean, you can tell in the interview he's getting upset, and you can tell Biden's getting more and more upset, and it's, like, uncomfortable. Like, he is definitely...
I shouldn't have answered a question. I'm sorry to everyone.
I'm sorry, because, you know, everything has to be politicized. I can't even... That's what I was thinking earlier. Like, we're so divided. Everything is so political now. Like, the weather is going to be political. They'll be like, hey, are you, oh, hey, did you, looks like it might rain later. Oh, yeah, you know, I don't believe in that right-wing conspiracy theory. Yeah, I'm a Democrat, so. Not on my app. I have the Democrat. I have the like left-wing weather app. So, man, this is like bad. This is bad. I mean, I'm like also interested in to see how bad this is gonna get now. The fact that this guy apologized for just saying I don't think he can serve one more. I mean, it's an opinion, and he's not on Biden's team. There's no reason to apologize for that. You know, I mean, maybe he feels bad for Biden is what I'm thinking. Maybe I don't want to add to the bad. No, I don't want a president that can't do things after 4 or 8 p.m. or whatever it is. All right, so there's still all these conflicting reports. A 7th Democrat says he should drop out. But then it says here, tide beginning to turn in Biden's favor for now. Fucking cowards, man. Hey, my fellow Democrats, don't talk about me being almost dead, all right? God, seriously, that fucking interview was terrible. Like, the country will come to an end, somebody says. Oh, if Trump wins, give me a break. I mean, it already is coming to an end. When is this like a good thing? Like, they would be calling Trump a selfish piece of shit. It's fucking ridiculous. Bunch of cowards, seriously. Some congresswoman from New Jersey also is calling for Biden to drop out. So maybe this will be a slow trickle. It's ridiculous. We need to beat Trump. Yeah, well, you have a retarded, old, like, not even aware what's going on guy. Like, how is he going to beat Trump? What? I can't believe this shit, man. The thing is, and he also kept doing in the interviews, like, I did this before, and I used. It's like, okay, so there was a dour and sad mood in the house. Well, yeah, 'cause you are fucking a bunch of losers. Unbelievable. What is going on? 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 Unbelievable. 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 Oh my god. 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 Look at this quote. Let's see here. Wait, what was the where was that quote? Oh. Look at this quote. I'm staying with Papa. He was fit then and he's fit now. I'm staying with Papa Joe. I call him Papa, guys.
He's our little Papa. I'm staying with Papa Joe. He led us through COVID? Yeah, terribly.
He did a mandate for every single business to do a vaccine mandate. He fucking... Tons of businesses got... How, like, what do you mean he got us through the... Yeah, not everyone... Come on.
Right now, he's the nominee. I support the nominee. I support Joe.
He's strong, guys. If you say something, it's true. Joe Biden all the way, this guy says. Fucking loser.
Help Joe Biden win. We'll bring the ticket down this time. He just has to step down because he can't win.
Joe Biden's our candidate for president. I'm really worried about what's going to happen in November. And I don't want to elect a man who calls veterans.
Oh, my God. How dare he call veterans losers that we didn't hear? It was like some... Whatever, man. Whatever, man. Whatever, man. Whatever, man. Whatever, man. Whatever, man. Whatever. 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 Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Well, guess we'll see what happens. 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 See what happens.
He's the best man we can get. Isn't that sad to say?
Joe's the best we can get as a... Look, we got the best guy for the job. Really? Well, America's on the... I mean, I agree with the ones that said it's sad. I don't want to elect someone that calls soldiers losers. Okay. We're going to repeat that over and over again now. Remember when Trump said the one thing that he said? I mean, how long can you do that for? Remember the one thing Trump did? All right, that was a while ago. Like, a lot of those things nobody saw directly, and they heard of reports of him saying the thing. I don't fucking
care anymore. Well, we'll see, guys. Maybe I'll be back. Maybe I won't.
Maybe I'll be back here.
Or maybe the world will be done. Just gonna do the goodest job I can do. I'm just gonna do the goodest job I can do. Me do the goodest job. Me be goodest. For president. Me do it, yes. Back to the chopper. Stay tuned next week.